So, now, but I'm so happy this book finally came to America. And I'm terribly sorry what I'll insult your ears now, reading one piece from my novel with many flashbacks. Very Russian, I'm sorry. I'll try to manage with my...
You want to try these?
I have 250. 250, between 250 and 3. Yes, I could see it, but this... yes, I could see it. Thank you. Thank you. That piece, you know, I read a review in New York Times. I'm just stunned because I have so many congratulations about this piece in New York Times. But I was just surprised why they asked to write about my novel, political correspondent of New York Times in Moscow. That's I will leave on their conscience. Because this is, it's not political novel. If you ask me in what genre is written my novel, in genre of Russian borscht. It's all vegetables in it. That's political thriller. That's love story. That's novel about soccer. But it's human novel. It's a rainbow of life. It's like, I wrote this novel like I write my poetry as I live. Yes, I'm interested in politics. That's true. Because I'm not indifferent. I have no cold fish blood. And I hate snobs. And I think that when they said, we are neutral. Nobody is neutral. If you are neutral, you take a side. So, that's everything here. I try to reflect life with politics, with love, with bitterness, with joy of life. So, there is love story of one Siberian cliff climber nicknamed Bot, and one famous Soviet soccer player nicknamed Liza. And then he was young and very promising soccer player. She met this absolutely incredible Siberian girl who was also young like him, 18 years old. And she, in ecstasy of love, she did know how to express her joy of love. And she was climbing everywhere, even on the cranes, on the big buildings, our modest Moscow skyscrapers, and even once on the Kremlin Tower during blizzard. And this girl did exist. It was my girl. I gave this girl to my hero. And I've seen one Russian Siberian girl, professional cliff climber, who under the terrible Stalin's dictatorship had a courage just saying me, I would like to show you something, how I love you. And she climbed Kremlin Tower. She could be killed in each moment for this. And so now, we're only coming back to the novel. The soccer player, he was warned by his very cynical coach. Love or any other kinds of real passions, they are destructive for a career. I could sign contract with you and I'll make you real great for soccer star only if you sign contract with me that you'll not see this girl, this nuts, for 3 years. And he very skillfully separated them, and he put in his bed one of his secretary. And afterwards, when this guy was getting older, this secretary left him. He became lonely. He was terribly ashamed to call to a woman whom he loved since he was very young. Hanging phone. On the morning of August 1994, 60 years old, Prokhor Zalizin, nicknamed Liza, former USSR all-star soccer player, now a night watchman of an athletic supply store and a drunkard, was sleeping soundly in his bachelor apartment furnished with the prizes of victories of his glorious past and the empty bottles of his hopeless present. His trousers were an index of how hard he had been drinking. In stage 1, his trousers were hung up in the closet on a plastic hanger with metal clips, even though only one of the legs might be clipped. In stage 2, the trousers were folded neatly along the crease, hung not in the closet but over the back of a chair. 3, tossed in a shapeless mass, but on the chair. 4, on the floor next to the bed. In stage 5, on the bed along with their owner, who was in no shape to remove them. On this day, Zalizin's trousers were in the 5th stage, actually in the 6th, which means that they were in bed along with his shoes. In fact, only one shoe was on, which hinted at yesterday's attempted intention to remove both. Walking sadly and hungrily around the sleeping soccer star was the only other living creature in the apartment, a hedgehog named Chunya, picked up in the woods inside Moscow a year ago and brought home in a cup, the lining of which still showed a faintly gilt Eiffel Tower. In one of the photographs on the wall, Zalizin was trading his wet red USSR shirt for an equally sweaty yellow shirt that reads Brazil, with Pelé, whose blinding smile looks as if he had bitten a chunk of shining Siberian snow. The precious Brazilian shirt from the shoulders of the king of soccer, never washed in all those years out of respect for his internationally famous immortal sweat. Another photograph was of a young woman of 20 years old, standing atop a cliff with a coil of rope over her shoulder, winding the end in order to toss it down someone and pull him up to her. That someone was out of the shot,